Hello and welcome back to Obsessive Prepper AZ. Today we are doing our week 9 of our $10 a week food prep challenge. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest to go back to week 1 and watch the whole segment. What I do is food prep and show you ways to food prep for food storage. For an instance of maybe, let's say, a loss of income, a loss of job, maybe medical and you can't go out to the grocery store, a natural disaster like a hurricane or a flood, or in extreme cases, a doomsday scenario. So what I show you is how to food prep on $10 a week. It was a challenge that was given to me by one of my subscribers, and I'm only using $10 a week. And one of the things that is in the $10 a week is we're working on the short-term food storage, making sure our food pantry is sustainable. And if you want to see long-term food storage, I suggest to look at a lot of my older videos. I show you how to do long-term food storage. This is specifically for in our pantries for right now. Now my week 9 kind of got thrown for a loop. Weeks 10 through 11 have already been released. And I know a lot of my subscribers are like, am I missing something? Is there not a week 9 or am I not seeing week 9? No, week 9 has not been brought out yet. This is what we're doing is week 9. The reason why my week 9 did not come out is I had planned to do it. I had done a whole segment with my husband. I went out on the road with him for 18 days, out highwayman trucking, and I did a whole series on that. I think I've released day 7 up to right now, and I've got 18 days in that segment. And I had planned on doing my week 9 in the truck out on the road with him. Week 9 is this little bag here. I'll get into that in just a second. I still kind of want to explain what happened. So on the week 9, I had planned to do this, but on our day 15, which hasn't been released yet, it'll be another week or two for you to see week 15, something happened in our lives and it kind of threw us for a loop. And that was my husband going and getting his DOT physical. Now, anybody that drives trucks know you have to have a DOT physical either once a year if you're healthy, every 2 years. And this time around, we did it in Missouri. And unfortunately, my husband's blood sugars, the levels were through the roof. And so they gave him a 3-month pass on his DOT medical. And we kind of went, oh my gosh. And it was 290, the test, and his blood sugar levels. And they're like, you're going to have to go see a doctor. You're going to have to get this figured out. And we knew what the problem was. Bottom line, he was eating like crap. Enough said. Like crap. We're talking, when you're out on the road, honey buns, crumb cakes, fast food. He started drinking more Cokes. He was chewing. If you all didn't know, a lot of chew has 36% sugar in chew. So he was eating horribly the last probably like 9 months. I'm not gonna kid. And I've kind of been, assisting this, by my monkey bread and certain things that I've done videos on. And so, okay, 3 months, all you can have is a license for 3 months. You've got to get your diabetes in check. Either go see a doctor. They didn't even give us an option of eating healthy. So going back to eating healthy, we went, put a stop on everything we were eating. We have changed so much about our food habits in the last 10 days. And I wanted to do this whole series talking about week 9 for people that don't have diabetes, but then talking to people out there that want to do food storage that do have diabetes, and then kind of show you our journey of things that we've learned and things I knew but we weren't following. Alrighty, going back to the 9th week, my plans were out in the truck to show you. When I went to Winco, I purchased their dehydrated refried beans in a bag and peanut butter. This actually is our $10. So we've got refried beans, and then we've got peanut butter, dried peanut. I wanted to talk to you about food storage of things like peanut butter. Now in our lives, you know, it just depends on what you want. I'm not a big brand person on peanut butter. If you want Skippy, Jif, Kroger brand, now that our lives have changed, we don't do anything in peanut butter with added sugar. What we are doing now is organic. This has, in one serving, which is 2 tablespoons, you have 1 gram of sugar, 5 carbs, 16 grams of fat, and 8 grams of protein. Something like the Kroger brand, when we do comparison, still 180 calories per serving, but the sugars change. 4 grams of sugar, 1 gram of sugar. So in the nicer organic, but you're paying more for the peanut butter. Our carbohydrates are 7 grams of carbohydrates versus 5 grams of carbohydrates. So I just kind of wanted to give you an idea what we're doing. I still have this in my food storage. I still use peanut butter. I still make cookies. I still do that for other people. I'm changing how I'm doing cooking and baking. And I'm going to do a whole series on eating healthier and making recipes for that. But this is what we're storing. Peanut butter, it's a great source of protein. So I highly suggest, I don't care what you want to store. Like I said, the Jiffy, the Skip, the Kroger brand, the organic, whatever works for you, whatever you have the money for, whatever you have or need for your diet, then I highly suggest putting peanut butter into your food storage. Not long-term food storage. We're talking about our pantry shelf sustainable for a year, 2 years. The next thing was the Winco's refried beans, and I'm going to reconstitute these and let you see that also. But you can also purchase things like these bags, which we have done for years. And these are refried beans. We picked these up at Walmart, and I'm aware that not every Walmart has these bean bags, but these are awesome, and they're more affordable than like the Winco's. This is a green chili mix. This is your regular refried beans. This is a no-fat, fat-free. So technically for diabetes, this would be a great one, but even so, these, you just want to make sure that you don't have a lot of sugars and you don't have a lot of carbs. All you do is hot water to reconstitute them, and they work great. Husband puts these in his soups and things all the time. Another great source of beans is our kidney beans, navy beans, ranch style beans. I have a video up of those that you can watch on canning these beans. My ranch style beans, I pour them in a sauce pot, add a little bit of water to them. When I cook steaks, I always have ranch style beans. These would be great mushed up and made into a burrito. We have our navy beans. Now, I put a lot more beans in my jars, and so they're not as runny. All I do is pour them into a pan and add more water to them, and they are yummy. They are great. So check that video out if you want to know how to can your own beans. Also show you in a lot of my videos storing beans for long-term food storage. They are an awesome long-term food storage item. We're talking 25, 30 years and even beyond that. The only thing you have to remember is when you're storing dried beans, they are going to take longer to reconstitute because they are so dry. It's not like a fresh bag of beans that you might buy off the shelf at the store. They do take more moisture to reconstitute, but they're great. So you have pinto beans, 15 bean soup. I showed this in my 10 bucks a week challenge. We have lentils, all sorts of beans that you can store, kidney beans. Enough said on beans. I also have quinoa that I store, which is an awesome source of protein. So you need to look at things that are high in protein. And if you don't have meat readily available to you in a doomsday scenario or any instance where you're not having meat, look at other alternatives for protein. You can always purchase canned beans. You can probably get 2 years plus out of a canned bean. So these are neat sources, easy to get to if you don't know how to can. I highly suggest anyone that is a prepper and you're doing food storage to get a like Presto cooker, an All-American pressure cooker, the one with the gauge, and learn how to can, because it's an awesome way to put up food for your family. And especially in a situation where you don't have water and you can't reconstitute it so easily, then these already are reconstituted, or your canned beans.
Winco even carries peanut butter powder. It's $4.90 a pound. I'm going to pick some up and just try it. Give a little taste test.
I wanted to do this peanut butter test with you because I have not tried Winco's peanut butter. So I put 2 teaspoons of peanut butter, and I'm going to add some water to this. So I added 2 of these teaspoons, and I added, give or take, 8 teaspoons of water. And it's all going to depend on the consistency that you're going to want from your peanut butter. Smells like peanut butter. I might have added just a little bit more water than I should have. I could add some more dry powder. Added a little bit more peanut butter powder to it. All right, we've got a consistency of peanut butter now. Trying to decide what it tastes like. It's not like a Jif or a Skippy peanut butter, that's for sure. It's not bad. It just doesn't have the sugars that you're used to. And I think like in our peanut butters, they add other flavoring to it. I'm going to try this organic Santa Cruz because I'm trying to compare it if it's more like a regular peanut butter. See, now in this organic peanut butter, it's runny. You know, on the organic peanut butter, it sticks to your roof of your mouth. Seriously. It goes right to the roof of your mouth and it's hard to swallow. All right, sorry about that. I am going to say I'm going to say that Winco's dehydrated peanut butter is real similar to, like, let's call it organic peanut butter. Other than the organic peanut butter has more like grains in it, which I like, which is more consistency of a peanut butter that has peanuts in it. Not bad. This would be great for backpackers, people like that want some kind of peanut butter. Just add some water, smear it on something. So I have to say, I'm not hating this Winco peanut butter. Actually pretty good. And go out and get yourself a little bit. You don't have to get this big bag. It's not bad for the prices of it. You could definitely store more little jars of peanut butter if you don't have a dietary issue. If you're like this, where you have to buy the organic brand, you're looking at $3 plus. So just another option to store for food storage, either powdered, something like this. Honeyville has a great powdered peanut butter, so give that a try. So this is a number 10 can of Honeyville's peanut butter. Honeyville makes an awesome peanut butter. Now this is a can that I have, and I don't have any opened, that I have out in my long-term food storage. And I had purchased this 2 of 12. Now Honeyville's peanut butter on their website says that it can be for long-term storage for 5 to 10 years, as long as it's in a cool place. I believe it can go much longer because it is dried. I've used it. The last can I had open was almost 5 years old, and I had noticed no change at all. Real similar to like this Winco peanut butter. So this is a neat thing if you want to purchase some peanut butter to put out in your long-term food storage. If you want to use it like I did, is when I open the can, I put it in my mason jars. I use my FoodSaver to suck the oxygen out, and it made it last longer. Put it in a dark, cool place, and it will last for a long time with the absence of air and dark. So and cool. So try some of the Honeyville's peanut butter. I am a big Honeyville fanatic, as you all know. I'm not affiliated with Honeyville at all. It's just trying the difference between Augustin, Thrive, other companies, prices, and the quality. I'm more about quality. I push Honeyville because they have the quality. That's what they do, is awesome on quality. So give them a try. Now I also have in my long-term food storage Honeyville's refried beans or broke up beans. They are awesome too. But going to the Winco brand, okay, on Winco they say to use 1.5 cups of refried beans to 2 cups of water. I don't want to do this, I'm not cooking them, so I'm only going to use, let's call it 3/4 cup. So you get the idea. I'm going to do 1/2 cup. So we've got 1/2 cup. It smells a lot like taco seasonings. Now on the bags of refried beans like this is a green, this is the regular one, and that's the green chili. These are more just like refried beans, kind of like the Honeyville. It is like the bean, whereas the Winco brand has like a taco seasoning in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put some water in this and reconstitute this. So here's the consistency of our refried beans. Now, as they cool, I'm pretty sure we will thicken up quite a bit, and it will absorb the rest of the moisture that's in here. I don't know if you can see that. I know this is going to be hot. Steam's coming off. Wow. Go get you some Winco refried beans. I went ahead and let these cool down, and you can see that it has definitely thickened up more to a refried bean consistency. The taste of them are great. Now when you smell the bag of refried beans that I had, it smelled nothing but taco seasoning. I was thinking that I was going to be so overwhelmed with taco seasoning, and that's not the case. These beans have a great taste to them. So I'm going to say, go down and get you some Winco refried beans. These are awesome. I'm actually really impressed. Now with my bags of refried beans, I love these. And especially like this has green chili in it. But if you don't have those beans, that kind of brand near you, and you've got a Winco, oh my gosh, these are good. I'm going to say completely surprised by Winco's refried beans. These are awesome. Now, you have to think about with beans, refried beans, these kind of beans all together, you don't have to use as much water. It doesn't take a long time to reconstitute them. It's easy and simple to do. And in a food storage, that's a neat deal, because if you're looking at something like a whole bean like this, you're looking at more water, you're looking at a longer time to reconstitute them and cook with them. So you've got to think in your food storage, in your preps, do you have fuel sources? Do you have a solar sun oven that you have hours that you can plan on reconstituting your beans? Now, if you have a dehydrator, something like that, You could do something like my canned beans here that you have on the shelf. Instead of canning them, boil your beans and make your own refried beans by dehydrating them and then break them up. Then when you go to cook them, you only have to use a little bit of water. Just remember, in anything when you're dehydrated, you don't want to use a lot of salt because salt will keep it from reconstituting. It's some reason it just doesn't allow it to reconstitute all the way. Whereas if you have a freeze-dried product, there's no issue. But in a dehydrated, you want to make sure you reconstitute that first, then add your sodium to it. But wow, impressed. Our peanut butter, you know, it's all up to you. Do you want dehydrated? It is more money, you know, or do you just want to store and turn your peanut butter? I highly suggest that if you're going to do long term, purchase something like this in the Honeyville cans that you can definitely look and put that away if you don't want to use it. Or again, like I said, put it in jars, suck the oxygen out of it and store it that way versus leaving just the whole number 10 can open. So this is our week 9 of our 10 bucks a week food challenge. I hope I answered some questions for you. I know there's going to be comments about the fats or whatever in certain products. I tried to cover everything. Sometimes I do forget certain things, and as I'm editing, I'll throw them in as I'm talking. But I just wanted to give you an idea, one, of why the 9 didn't come out until just now. I wanted to show you some other alternatives for food storage, that it doesn't always have to be one way or the other. It's going to be what works for your family. You see back here some of the things. So these are some of the items that we have brought into our pantry the last 10 days. And what I've got here is some almond flour, coconut flour. I've always used almond flours. When I'm doing something like a fried zucchini or something like that, I use almond flour instead of regular white flour. It's healthier, so that's what I use to bread things with. But I've got some coconut flour here. Another thing to store is coconut oils. They are great for you. They do have a long shelf life if you keep them cool and dark. So I've got bigger containers just to give you an idea in price wise. This jar here I purchased at Sprouts for $4. This I got at Sam's Club for $10. So definitely don't always go into Sprouts or Whole Foods. Costco, Sam's Club are all doing things that are healthy for you, and you get more of a bargain for it than what you're getting here, price-wise. One of my subscribers had mentioned monk fruit instead of stevia. I had mentioned that I do not like stevia in a lot of things because I think it's bitter. So I don't remember your name. I'll throw it up here when I look it up. But I bought some monk fruit. I've never tried it before. This is the brown sugar version, the white sugar. So we purchased some monk fruit to add for baking. Has no sugars in it, natural. This is awesome. I did pick up some stevia and cinnamon to be able to flavor things, like put stevia and cinnamon in some butter and bake off an apple so you're not using sugar. Stevia, again, is another natural thing. I'm trying to stay away from Splendas, Equal, that kind of stuff that is more manufactured. I'm trying to stay natural. And instead of white rice, which I have a ton stored, and now I'm having to think about brown rice. And there's been questions from subscribers about brown rice and why it doesn't store as long as white rice. And it's because the hull that is around the brown rice can eventually go rancid. So you can't store brown rice as long as white rice, but you can definitely get years out of it. So I'm going to start looking at storing brown rice. In my previous 10 bucks a week challenge, I showed storing quinoa, and I've got the quinoa here that I'll take it out of packages. This is just something I wanted to show you, the quinoa packages. And Kroger's brand, definitely cheaper. Definitely cheaper. And put them in mason jars, suck your air out, and you can definitely use quinoa and have it stored on your food pantry shelves for a long time. If you watch any of my videos, I store the heck out of pasta. I've got so much pasta in my house, but it has flour in it. So now another thing I'm looking to change is this is a no flour product. It's gluten-free. It is made from whole grain rice, wheat-free, gluten-free. So this is our week 9, 10 bucks a week food challenge. I hope I answered some questions. Again, my apologies that this is coming out after week 10 and 11, and showed you some of the things that we are doing changes in instead of, when he's out on the road, my husband is out on the road. That life is a crazy life. And I would sit at home and I'm like, well, why don't you eat this? Or why don't you do this? I would make him meals, but then really in reality, being out on the road in that quick pace, it is hard. It is hard for these guys to get a proper meal. Even if you're sending food with them, it's still hard. And if you watch that series over at Highwayman Trucking, there's days where we could barely get a shower, let alone find proper food. There was one night where we thought we were at least going to be able to go over to this IHOP Express and get a salad. Well, it was closed down. So then we walked back across the street and the only thing open was a McDonald's. It's just unfortunate that there's not healthier alternatives out there. The truck stops are doing a better job. Hard-boiled eggs, vegetables, things like that you can pick and eat. I just wish that the truck stops would manage their food, their healthier food better. By the register, they have a big basket of bananas or apples and oranges, but literally that door opens so many times a day. And when we had our business, we dusted all the time because the straight dirt that came in was just gross. And I'll go into these truck stops, look at that apple and just go, that's gross. They're sitting there with dust on them. It is just, I wish they would figure out a bin like where they have the donuts stored that had doors or something that the person could reach in and get that apple without all that dirt being on it. Because these truckers can't literally grab an apple and go and wash it. It's hard. They use the bathroom sinks as bathrooms. There's guys that wash their feet in the sinks at the truck stop. I'm not going to mention them. But the guys that have to wash their feet all the time to do their prayers, yeah, they're washing their feet in the sinks. How filthy is that? And then yet your husband's supposed to go over and grab an apple and rinse that apple off? That's gross. So I just wish there was more things that a truck stop would do for healthier alternatives for these guys. Anyways, enough said. There's just so many struggles in all of our lives, and this is just one of them that we're having to deal with, learn a new way. And I just hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. And if you want to be notified for future videos, ring the bell. Have a blessed day.